Is your health insurance unaffordable? Well, before we answer that, you're going to want to stick around because what you think is unaffordable and what the government thinks is unaffordable is probably two different things. How's it going, everyone? I'm Joey Jingola with Jingola Insurance, and on today's health insurance break, we're going to talk about your job, your health insurance from that job, and whether or not it is actually unaffordable as deemed by the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. You see, if you have affordable health insurance available to you from your employer, then you are ineligible to take advantage of these new health insurance marketplaces that have been created. That means you miss out on Obamacare and are stuck with your one-size-fits-all solution that your job is offering you. This is a particularly dangerous question to ask. Like I alluded to in the beginning of the video, if I were to ask 100 people if they thought their health insurance was unaffordable, well, probably 99 of you would say yes. And the truth is that while it may be unaffordable to you, or it may appear to be unaffordable, when you actually compare it to health insurance in the wild, if you will, it's actually a very good deal. So you might want to know what is considered to be unaffordable then. It's the question of the day. And here it is. The cost of your health insurance, not your entire family, that's very important, needs to account for more than 9.5% of the total annual household income. And also needs to be based on the least expensive option your employer is offering you. Or your health insurance can be deemed unaffordable if your employer is covering less than 60% of the overall medical expenses on average, leaving you to pay 40% or more. You want me to translate that for you? Sure, I can do that. That'd be fine. I apologize. I should have done that in the first place. That was kind of rude of me. So the first part of this whole unaffordability quest for you means that you need to look at the cheapest health insurance plan, plain and simple. Like I said, it doesn't matter which one you went with, you need to compare it to the cheapest health insurance option. It's very important to look at your cost of the employee because oftentimes companies pay a lot less for your spouse and your kids than they do for you. And that reduction in cost sharing is not part of the unaffordable equation. The second part simply means you barely have health insurance. I can go into a whole bunch of fancy insurance detail and throw around words like actuarial value and whatever else have you, but I would like for you to remain conscious and free from throwing objects at me during the remainder of this video, if we could. So, well, the next question that you might have is, what can you do if your health insurance is unaffordable? You're asking so many good questions. I'm proud of you. Thank you, because this is where you need to be thinking. Thank you. So if your health insurance is unaffordable, well, you can maybe tell your boss to take that health insurance policy out back and lay it on a very dry stack of twigs, possibly carelessly spill some flame accelerant on it, and accidentally expose it to an open flame. But before you do that, hold on. We want to make sure that you don't start a forest fire in the process. Now is the absolute perfect time to figure out if you qualify for Obamacare and if there is actually greener grass somewhere to be found. That would be pretty embarrassing if there's not. That means you would need to determine if your income falls somewhere between 138% and 400% of the federal poverty line, or FPL as the cool kids say. Don't worry, I've got a link below in the description to help you do that, and I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit more about how to do that later on in the video. All you need to know is if this ends up working out, well, hey, feel free to light the match yourself and put that old health insurance policy up in flames. Even if you don't qualify for Obamacare, you still have the option to purchase a health insurance plan for you and your family outright if you don't qualify. Now, again, it's going to be pretty pricey, so the chances of it actually being better than your current unaffordable health insurance or perceived unaffordable health insurance is very slim. But it's possible, and you can always look into it. But what's the bottom line you might want to know in all this? Well, health insurance is expensive, medical treatment is expensive, and what your employer charges you for health insurance is probably a little on the expensive side too. That doesn't necessarily mean that it all adds up to be unaffordable under the definition of the law. You're going to want to make sure that you do your math homework, and again, don't forget to show your work, before blindly assuming that your family's health insurance through your employer is too expensive. So you might want to know how to figure out where your income falls on that FPL line, like I alluded to a little bit ago. And what I've gone and done is I put together a 5-part video series for you on how to navigate Obamacare essentially in Ohio's health insurance marketplace. And it's going to help you go step by step through all the things that you need to do and identify to determine whether or not this is an option for you. So if you want to figure out where your income falls on that FPL, if there's a subsidy available to you, and more specifically how much of a subsidy, well, you can go ahead and click on this cover right here to start watching this 5-part video series right now. You can go ahead and do that. If not, there's a link below in the video's description as well. Of course, if you did find any of this information helpful, I would ask that you do one thing for me. If you know other families who are in a similar position questioning the affordability of their health insurance and need to figure this out very soon, well, I'd ask that you go ahead and send this video to them so they are not making the same mistake and they are not going to struggle for a whole nother year with health insurance that they may not necessarily have to deal with. So, of course, as always, I am Joey Giangola with Giangola Insurance. Take it easy, everyone. Is your health in through it? How's it going, everyone? How's it going, everyone?